seventh chapter we will be starting today, that is factors of production, and this is the seventh chapter of your textbooks. Factor of production means, factors means those agents which help you in the production activity. Factors are also known as agents and they help you in the production activity. Which are those factors of production which help you to carry forward your production, or your production takes place because of these factors, which are: you have land, you have labor, you have capital, and you have organization. You have four factors of production mainly. You have land. The production takes place on a fixed asset. You have a land of your own, or you take land on lease and carry out the production activity using that factor of production. This is known as a passive factor of production. Second is labor. This is an active factor of production. Labor is the people or the force of the men and the women or the children that help you to the man task, you can say, or the force, the man force, or the mankind which is helping you to take part in the production activity. Third is the capital. Capital is the money that you have invested in the business, and when your production takes place, your products are sold in the market, then you will be getting some profits. So definitely you will be getting returns on the money that is invested, and that invested money is known as capital. Last is organization. Organization means entrepreneurship, that is basically entity. Entity is known as an organization. There are few people who are coming together. There are few people who have joined together to work for a particular task or a particular motive. Then that togetherness or that unity or that, when you're working in a team, that is known as organization. This is the four factors of production. We will be dealing with all these four factors of production individually. First factor of production that we will be dealing is land. Land means the surface of the earth. It includes all the natural resources which are available on or above and under the surface of the land. According to Alfred Marshall, land refers to all the material and forces which nature gives freely for man's aid in land, water, air, light and heat. So there are different people who come up with different ideas and they give different definitions for the land. Land basically you mean surface of the earth. Surface of the earth is known as land. That surface of the earth is land. But in the economic sense, if you say surface of the earth is land, it also includes all the natural resources that are on it. On it means surface of the land. Alright, so land means the surface of the earth, and it also means all the natural resources that are on it. You have water, you have air, you have trees, you have plantation, you have forest, you have light. All those are natural resources which are on the surface of the earth, and they are all included under land. According to Marshall, that is, we can say you have land has three things. First is surface of the earth. Surface of the earth means you have land, forest, mountains, water. These are all on the surface of the earth. Below the surface you have coal, petroleum, silver, gold, iron ore. These are all found below the surface of the earth. That is also called land. Above the surface of the earth, you have air, light, heat. That is also included under the purview of land. So land means surface of the earth and all the natural resources that are on it. Whether you take it surface of the earth, below the surface or above the surface, all are included under land. Let us study the features of land. First feature of land is it is a gift of nature. Land is a gift of nature. It is not created by human being. There is no contribution by any single person in the creation of land. That is altogether a gift of nature. Nature has given you this gift, and it is our duty, our responsibility to take care of that gift. Next is, land has an inelastic, or you can say fixed supply. Inelastic or fixed supply. You have a supply of land fixed. If I say today I want this much acre of land for the production, tomorrow I will start tomorrow. If you can always change the production activity, like if you say today the demand is more, you can increase the supply also. But tomorrow you have a fixed land, and suppose you have a fixed area of land, you can divide the land only in 3 parts, and you say you want to develop a fourth house. You cannot do that. You cannot increase the supply as per the demand. The demand supply is inelastic, or it is fixed in nature. Next feature is, it is a permanent factor. It is a permanent factor of production. It cannot be increased, decreased, reduced, modified, changed as per our conditions. Land resources, these resources can be increased, decreased, but this is a very permanent factor of production. It cannot be destroyed easily, alright, or it cannot be destroyed completely. The permanency will always remain. Next feature is primary factor of production. Land is a primary factor of production. If you want to start up everything, first you need to have a land, an asset, a basic infrastructure on which you can start off your production activity. So land is said to be the primary factor of production. Before doing anything, you say where you will do it, right? If you want to start up a production activity, anybody will ask you where will you do it. So that where the answer lies in the land. Next is passive factor of production. That means you can use it any way you want. It will not say anything. Basically, you put it that way. So it becomes productive only when you do something on it, right? If you keep a land, you don't use the land, it will remain barren. Nothing will grow on it, or nothing will be produced on it on its own. So it is a passive factor. Whatever land has, it has because of many other factors. It has nothing of its own, right? If you are producing something on it, if you are building, if you are having a construction activity, you will be doing something on it. It is otherwise a passive factor of production. Next is diminishing returns. You have diminishing returns. It is subject to diminishing returns, law of diminishing returns. It means that you are putting something, you are trying to grow some crops on your land. You plow the land, put the seeds, seeding has been done, put the fertilizer, insecticides, watering every day. At a time will come when you will harvest what you have grown. Next time again you will do that, but a point will come when that land will become barren. You will not be able to use it in the same manner as you did it for the first or the second time. So that is why it is said that land has a feature of diminishing returns. Next is derived demand. Derived demand means it has no demand of its own. It will be demanded only when it requires. I will demand land. Why? Because I want to have a construction activity on it. I want a land, or I demand a land. Why? Because I want to grow something on it. So it is derived demand. It is with something. Land is nothing on its own. If you want to have something done on it, or you want to plant something on it, then only there will be a demand for the factor of production known as land. Next is lacks geographic mobility. Lacks geographic mobility means you cannot take land from one place to the other. Whereas if you talk of labor, or you talk of money, you can change places, or you can have money or labor go from one place to the other. But land has a feature of fixed mobility. Next is heterogeneous factor. Heterogeneous factor means land has different qualities. If you go from one place to the another, you will see that land has different quality. One type of land can grow two land cannot grow same type of a crops. So they have a very heterogeneous kind of a quality, that they are different from each other. Then you have these were the features of land: gift of nature, inelastic, permanent factor, primary factor, passive, diminishing returns, derived demand, lax geographical mobility, and lastly is it is a heterogeneous factor. Next factor of production is labor. Labor is what? It is the human force or the human people coming together and taking up the production activity or whatever they are dealing in. Labor is the human effort, that is, labor could be either physically or mentally. It could be physical labor or it could be mental labor. If a teacher is teaching, doctor is undertaking a study, a lawyer is undertaking a study, that is all mental labor. And physical is if you are lifting things from one place to the other, going and visiting from one place to the other, that is the physical labor you are doing. So it is the human effort, either physical or mental, by which people beginning to work age group, and this is the process of production. Any human effort for which a reward or remuneration is not received is not called labor. Labor means when you are putting your work physically and mentally and you are getting something in return, that is a reward, or you are getting something in return, is known as a labor. Alright? Even if contributes to the productive, even if you're doing something contribute productive, but that will not be called a labor unless you get a reward or you get something for it in return. According to Alfred Marshall, labor is any exertion of mind or body undergone partly or wholly with a view to earning some good other than the pleasure derived directly from the work. It's not only you're deriving the pleasure, but you're putting yourself either physically or mentally, and for that physical or mental labor you have been rewarded for something. Let's do the features or characteristics of labor. First feature of labor is living factor. This is supposed to be the most active and living factor of production. Because of the labor, other factors of production are dealt in. Labor, like if you talk about land, that is the first factor of production. Who will take care of the land or who will do something on the land? Labor. If you talk of money, who will earn money and put again in the business? Labor. If you talk about entity, who is going to run the entity or the organization? Labor. So labor plays the most important and it plays the pivotal character in the production activity. Next is perishable factor. Perishable factor means it cannot be separated from the laborer. It cannot be saved actually. Perishable means it will vanish or it will disappear. You cannot save the labor. You know, there is a difference between labor and laborer. Labor and laborer. Labor means the work that you are putting in, and the laborer is the person or the human or the man or the woman or any worker who is putting up that labor. That is known as the laborer. And that labor, you can save the laborer, but we are talking about labor. Labor is the work you are putting in. So it is a perishable factor. You cannot save somebody's labor, or cannot save somebody's physical or mental activities or contribution. Next factor of production is the heterogeneous factor of production. Labor is heterogeneous, means every person, single person is different from the other person. That is known as the heterogeneity. Homogeneity means same, heterogeneity means different. Every one person is different from the other person. If you talk about the nature or the physical appearance, they are different. That is why it is said that labor is a heterogeneous factor of production. Next is we will study has a derived demand. Labor has a derived demand, means if there is a lot of demand for a goods, then only production will take place. Production will take place, then only you will demand for labor. So how will you demand for labor when you don't have any work out of them? If you have a school, then you only demand for the teachers. If you have a college, you will demand for the professors. If you have a university, you will call for the people to work there. So if you have an office, you will call for the workers. So labor will be there only when you have some work. So that is, labor has a derived demand. That means demand for the labor takes place only when there is an activity or there is production or whatever thing that you are dealing in. Next is, it is a relatively inelastic supply. relatively inelastic supply, you cannot change it every time, you cannot change it in the very short period. Definitely you can increase and decrease the supply for the labor when the time duration is long enough, but in the short period or the very short period, you cannot change the supply of the labor. That is why it is inelastic in nature. Next is inseparable. What is inseparable? Labor is inseparable from laborer. These you cannot say labor is different and laborer is different. It is the laborer who is putting in the labor. So they are inseparable. So labor is inseparable from laborer. Next is most important point is active factor. Only because of the labor you will have all the other factors of production working in line. If the labor is not taking or the laborer is not dealing in, you have a misfit or you don't have the proper labor force, then what you will do, what will happen, your land will not be used properly, your money, that is your capital, will not be utilized properly, and thirdly your entity will run down. So this is the most important factor, and this needs to be okay, then only the other production, the factors of production will work in line. Next feature is interdependence. Labor is interdependent on other factors of production. Labor requires land, capital, enterprise to activate its production. So it is interdependent. If you have land, there will be somebody who will deal in land, will put money. So all these factors are interdependent. Next is labor will get wages or salaries as rewards or returns for the work they are doing. Wages are basically money that is given to the people who work on the daily basis, and salaries is given to the white collared people. So this is as rewards they are getting wages and salaries. Then you have the classification also. You have the labor that is classified, and how that classification is done. You have skilled labor and you have unskilled labor. You for some work, today's date, every time you need skilled laborers, you need people who are professionals. Sometimes you need to have a work which actually does not require any skill. If you need to have a peon or a clerk or a PA, they don't require any skill. So they can be an unskilled labor, but there are certain professions which require professionals or they require expertise services, so they need skilled labor. That is all about labor that is studied. Next thing that we will do is capital. Capital means money invested in business or work, whatever work you are doing, or the work undertaken. Alright? But in economics, the term capital refers to that part of wealth which is used for further production of wealth. So all capital is wealth, but all wealth is not capital. Capital is a man-made factor of production. We have to know that. Capital is a man-made factor of production. It is not a nature's gift. Man-made factor. And another important thing that needs to be known is that materials, machinery, tools, equipment, vehicles, building, they all come under capital. According to Alfred Marshall, capital consists of those kinds of wealth other than free gifts which yield income. So the concept is very clear. More wealth is known as capital. Alright. So capital is that you are putting money and you are getting more out of it. That is known as wealth. Now, what do you mean by what is man-made factor? Man-made factor means wealth is not a free gift of nature. It is a man-made factor of production. You are earning money, you are putting in the business, and again you are generating money out of that. So whatever you are, it consists of all. It is all that wealth which excludes free gift of nature, right? Wealth is excluding free gift of nature. So Alfred Marshall has put it very correctly that wealth consists of all those All that wealth, capital consists of all that wealth which does not include free gift of nature. Now we will do features of capital. Features of capital. First feature is it is a man-made factor, as we all know. Capital is a man-made factor. It is a man who produces the capital in the form. Capital, it means everything. Capital means wealth or money, if you say. Alright. Capital means machinery. Capital means tools. Right? Building. This all comes under capital. So this is all made by man. Right? So these are all man-made resources, and this is man-made factor of production. So therefore it is also called produced means of production. Produced means which will help in further production. That is why it is also known as produced means of production, because it helps in further production and it is made by man only. Next is passive factor. Next feature of capital is it is a passive factor of production. It cannot do anything on its own. Money cannot do anything on its own. It is you who is using the money, putting it productively or unproductively. It cannot move from one place to another. It cannot do anything on its own. So whatever will be done with the help of labor. Otherwise it's nothing in itself, and it is a passive factor of production. Next feature is mobile factor. It is definitely the most mobile factor. That is, it can travel from one place to another. That all everybody knows. Money is nobody's money. It can go change hands very frequently. Today you have a 100 rupee note, next minute you won't have that. So it is the most mobile factor of production. It has a geographical mobility, occupational mobility. So we can say that is the most mobile factor. Next feature is depreciative factor. You have capital, or you have, that is the depreciative factor they say, because machines, building, even if you talk about money, the value goes down. So that is why depreciation is what? Running down of the value, that is normal wear and tear. And when you talk about machinery, building, tools, they all have a very fixed age, right? And definitely keep on using them, or even if you don't use, there is a normal wear and tear in that machinery, and that is known as depreciation. So capital has a depreciative value also. Durability factor. Capital definitely has a durability factor. It is durable in nature. If you talk about machinery, building, etc., these are all, barring one or two, the rest are very durable factors. They have a long life. Next is elastic supply. You can change the supply, that is increase or decrease the flow of capital in the economy or in your business whenever you require. If you want to increase the production, or you want to increase the scale of production, you can put in money, or you can withdraw the money from your business. So it is very elastic in supply. It has an elastic feature. Next is it lacks permanency. Means all capital goods are destructive in nature. You cannot store for how long you will you store money or machinery or tools. They will be destroyed completely one day or the other. So that is why they say they lack permanency. They are not in one hands, and they will be destroyed one day or the other. Next feature of increases productivity. Increases productivity in the sense, if you talk about labor, if the labor is given the best of the machinery, then he will be very happy to work on that machinery. He knows how to operate it. That machinery will do the production activity fast. There is less of frustration, and the productivity increases. So what happens? That is again capital. When you give labor more of money, they will do work, they will enjoy the work, put in more efforts. That also increases the labor's productivity. So in all, capital is a very motivating force in increasing the productivity of the labor. Productivity is basically the ratio of output to input, or you say output divided by input. that is known as productivity. So the less you put in, the more you get. That means the productivity is more. Alright, so there are many kinds of productivity. You can increase the labor productivity by putting in lot of effort, so that you can give so much of money to the labor. They can increase the productivity of the labor to enhance or increase the labor's productivity to whichever level you can. Next is interest as the reward. See, if you talk about land, if you have land, what reward you are giving it as? Rent. If you have your own land, well and good. If you have a borrowed land, you give rent. If you talk about labor, what you give labor? Wages or salaries. Now if you talk about capital, the reward is interest. Interest in the form, like I have put my capital in the form of machinery. I have put my own capital in the form of machinery in my business. Now that machinery is producing and giving me returns. So that is like an interest. If you put capital or money in the business, definitely you will get some interest out of it. So the reward for the capital is interest. Next topic is classification of capital. First basis of classification is on the basis of durability, mobility. Then you have on the basis of ownership. We have the three basis of durability. Then you have on the basis of mobility and ownership. This is on the basis of durability. Then you can classify on the basis of mobility, and lastly on the basis of ownership. Let's see how they are classified further. It is on the basis of durability. You have two types. You have fixed and working. Again you have two types, fixed capital and working capital. Right? Then you have on the basis of mobility, you have sunk, floating, physical and financial. You have four types under this. Sunk capital, then you have floating, physical and financial. Floating capital, physical capital and financial capital. Alright. Last is on the basis of ownership, personal and social capital. This is how you will classify or you will see the types of capital. On the basis of durability, you have the fixed capital and the working capital. Alright. Then you have on the basis of mobility, sunk capital, floating, physical capital and financial capital. On the basis of ownership, you have personal capital and social capital. We will deal each of these individually. First is on the basis of durability. On the basis of durability, you have two types, fixed and working. See, fixed capital means you have machinery, building, a large amount that is invested in the business in the form of seeding capital or the initial. That is known as the fixed capital. The nature of the capital is either fixed or working. Fixed means the capital is invested for a long duration or till the age of the business, and there is only normal wear and tear. You do not buy or invest that money every day. It is the one-time investment or one-time venture. Next is if you talk about the working capital. Working capital means if you talk about the oil, lubricants, grease, this is all put in the machinery. Alright, electricity, coal, raw materials, you buy and take money every day for the raw materials or maybe for other purpose. That is known as the working capital. So on the basis of durability, the nature of the capital is either fixed or working. Next is on the basis of mobility. On the basis of mobility, first you have the sunk capital. Alright, it refers to the capital which is used for some specific purpose. It has no alternative use. It performs a particular task for the particular activity. Right? Suppose you have the capital which you have kept aside for buying the machinery. Now you will not use it for any other purpose but for the same purpose, like buying of machinery. So that capital is known as the sunk capital. Or you have kept aside capital, for the production of a particular product. So that is known as the sunk capital. Next type of classification is floating capital. What is floating capital? It is the capital which can be used for several alternative uses. You know, you have money and you are paying for different purpose. You are paying the rent of the factory, then you are paying for electricity, then you are paying for the power, fuel, whatever. So that capital is known as the floating capital, which has alternative uses. Next is physical capital. Physical capital, it is the capital which is used for the production of other goods and services. Right? It is a stock of produced goods that facilitates the production. Example of such goods include machines and tools. It is the capital which is used for the production of other goods and services. I am producing some goods and services, right? It is the stock of produced goods that facilitates further production. I have kept aside money for the production of a good, right, for some goods. Now that production has taken place. Now with the help of that goods, I will produce some other goods. So whatever capital has been kept aside for the production of further goods from the goods already produced by you is known as the physical capital. Next is financial capital. It is that capital which is available for investment. It is a stock of money. Financial capital directly produce goods and services. It can be used for purchase of factors of production which can produce goods and services. Financial means that is help in producing the goods and services. Physical is that you are producing the goods and services with the help of goods and services already produced. And financial is directly that is for production activity, or that is given to the people who are helping in the production. So all the production activity that is being done is done with the help of the financial capital. Alright. Next basis we will do, that is basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership you have personal and social capital. What is personal and social capital? It is that capital which is owned by the individuals. That is, if I own some money, that is the personal capital I have, or the private capital. And it is the capital which is owned by the society or the public. That's the public assets, railways, hospitals, that is the social capital. Personal property that you are holding, that's in your name, is known as the personal capital. The infrastructure that does not belong to you, it belongs to the government, that is known as, or it is categorized under social capital. So on the basis of ownership you have the personal capital and the social capital. Next is entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, that is also known as, or that comes from the word entrepreneurship, or that comes from the word entity or organization. That is the fourth factor of production in when you study the factors of production. Entrepreneur or entity or organization. Entrepreneur is basically the one who organizes all the factors of production and starts the business, runs the business and takes the business forward. So entrepreneur is the person who is running the business, getting or organizing all the other factors of production and carrying on the business. An entrepreneur is an individual. It's basically a human resource, is an individual who bears the risk of operating a business in the face of uncertainty about the future condition. See, entrepreneur's job is, you have to first identify the opportunity. Identify the opportunity, right? Second, it could be you have to have the alternatives before you. You should have several alternatives, right? Then you will chalk out the alternatives and choose the best, right? Generate resources, allocate, organize, and finally control and get things into line. So entrepreneur has all the things. You have to identify the opportunity or identify the problem or the plan. Then you would have to look for the alternatives. What alternatives you can have for the production activity where you can get in more production at a lesser cost. Then you have to choose the best alternative. Alright. Then you have to generate certain resources to carry on the business. You have to allocate the resources, organize, and finally control and manage the business. That is the work of the entrepreneur, or you can say that is how the organization is run, or the fourth factor runs with the help of the entrepreneur. And this is the fourth factor of production that we will be studying. So entrepreneur is the risk taker. Basically, entrepreneur is also known as the risk taker because he takes the initiative, he takes the risk of running the business when the environment is such of an uncertain nature. An employer of factor of production, when he organizes, allocates, and he is finally the decision maker of the business or innovator of the business. This is how you can define entrepreneur, or the person who is running the organization or who is managing the fourth factor of production. Next we will study the qualities of entrepreneur. You have to have certain qualities to become the entrepreneur, because the entrepreneur is managing all the other factors of production, that is labor, capital, organization, and the other skilled force and the unskilled force. So he needs to bear or inculcate or have certain qualities to run the business successfully. First quality is personality. First quality that an entrepreneur should have has personality. Personality means it could be mental personality. He should be mentally strong. He should be physically fit. And he should be socially well-to-do. Okay, if he is of unsound mind, he will not be able to perform his job. If he is physically unfit, you can say he is of he has got some physical disablements, he will not be able to do the job. If he is of a criminal nature, or if he does not bear a successful social profile, then also his personality will not suit the job, or he will not be able to successfully run the business. Next quality is to be a risk taker. An entrepreneur has to take risk, start up the business, because the environment is very uncertain, right? Successful business you have to have, it is no gambling. It's actually, gambling is extreme risk. Business is not actually gambling, but still you have to take a lot of risk, because the risk, if you don't take the risk or you don't take the initiative, basically you will never know that whether this will prove good or bad for you. Because you cannot predict something. If you want to start up the business, you cannot predict that a particular business will be good for you or bad for you. You have to take a chance, or you have to take the risk in order to see that whatever you are doing will give you or generate some productive output or not. Next is imagination. Alright, one of the most important qualities is imagination. You don't need to have only the education or knowledge, you need to have both. You need to have good sense of education and knowledge, and a good power of imagination. You could imagine, okay, if this is not suiting here, what alternative you can have, what else you can do in that place. So you should have good imagination, you should have good knowledge of things. It is, imagination is a divergence of intelligence, deviation in the knowledge thinking process. And if you have a good imagination, that is a good sign of entrepreneurship, or that is the good head of entrepreneurship. So you should have good power of imagination. Next quality is you should have the technical knowledge. It's not only playing with the books and the pen, but it also has, whatever work you're doing, you should have full technical knowledge. You should know how the goods will be produced, you should know how technology will be used, how you can update the technology, how you can bring a better technology. So you should have a sound technical background. And you know what, technology does not only means machine, it means legal, financial and administrative matters. That is all technical fields. You should know whether you will be able to install the machinery or not. Are you using the money in a productive manner or not? And you know the administrative effects or administrative dealings or not. Next is communication skills. Communication skills, you should have ability to share information. It is if you are just doing the business on your own and you are not responding to the environment, or you are not studying the environment, you are not communicating what you are doing, or you are not getting the knowledge from the outside world, you are a proven failure of an entrepreneur. You should have very good communication skills. You should be in connection. C is an important factor. That C is known as connection and communication. You should be connected to the people of your field, so that you will be updated and you will know what you are doing, whether you are doing it rightly or not. Next is good organizers. Good organizers means an entrepreneur is a person who is organizing all the factors of production. All the factors of production means you talk about land. It has got land, purchased land or took land on lease. Then if you talk about labor, it has got both skilled and unskilled labor, the right quality and the kind of labor. It has got money. So it is organizing all the factors of production, getting men, machines, materials, money together and accomplishing the task and achieving the objectives. So it is a good organizer. Next is decision making. Decision making. To be a successful person, you should have the ability to take the initiatives and implement and take the decisions quickly. You have to have certain qualities, that you have to make the right decision at the right time, at the right place. Then only your investment will be successful. So you have to have, it's not only taking the decisions or making the decisions, it's also implementing them fruitfully. So you have to take the right decision at the right time, for the right people, at the right place, and not only that, but you need to implement those decisions. So an entrepreneur needs to take or make good decisions. Next is energetic. An entrepreneur has to be energetic. He should have physically and mentally, he should be very stable. He should have good stamina to work hard. That it does not mean he will be a workaholic person. Workaholic means who are working day and night, forgetting the social life and the family life and the other aspects of the life. It is energetic means whenever you are asked to work, you are doing it wholeheartedly, putting all your mind, body and soul in it. Next, an important feature is patience. Steadiness, and you don't have the perseverance of performing the task. You should be able to control, because you are running a business, you are facing lots and ups and downs, so you need not lose courage. You should have the patience to bear the adverse conditions, to bear the odds. You should have the patience to control the anxiety, to be polite, to be firm in your dealings. And it is always said you should wait for the actions, but you should be always certainly wait for the results of his efforts. You should always wait for your results. You need not you should not go in impulsively. You should not take impulsive actions and work without thinking. So patience is an important quality. Next is desire to achieve goals. An entrepreneur should be good enough, or he should be desirous enough that he should achieve the goals. Until and unless there is a flame inside you, there is something provoking you every time to achieve something, you will not be able to achieve your goals. So in order to achieve your goals, you should be desirous enough. You should have a thrust inside you to achieve the goals that you have desired for yourself. Next is open-mindedness. It means free and frank approach towards errors. You will be always learning from your mistakes. Once you know that you know everything, that is the dead end for you. So you should be open to challenges. You should be open to your mistakes and errors, that you will not make them again. And you should be open to learning aspect also. Human relations. Human relations, an entrepreneur. See, you have so many people you are dealing with. You, first of all, in the industry, you are dealing with the labor who is helping you in the production. Then you are dealing with the supplier who is supplying you the raw materials. You are dealing with the government who is framing policies, changing policies every day. and bringing up something new for you, bad or good, whatever. You are dealing with many people who are connected to your work directly or indirectly, so you are dealing with the human. You have to be very careful in dealing, because every second person carries a different nature. You have to mold yourself. In order to be a good entrepreneur, you need to be good enough or mold yourself as per the person that comes in front of you. So you have to learn from your mistakes, and you have to mold yourself to that way, and understand the psychology of different people and behave with them accordingly. That is a prospect. Next is some other miscellaneous qualities. Other qualities that are not mentioned but discussed could be you should be confident enough, you should learn to take the initiatives, you should have good leadership qualities, you should have good time management. Alright, you should be disciplined enough, and you should maintain secrecy of your business. These are some of the important other qualities which have not been mentioned under the main ones, but that will be included under the qualities of an entrepreneur. Next is functions of the entrepreneur, what all he does. You have to study the functions of entrepreneur, what all functions he performs. Right, whatever vital or important functions he undertakes. First is initiates business enterprises. An entrepreneur always initiates business or generate ideas, plans and organizes. You know what the function is? First you are generation of ideas. Then after you got the ideas, what you will do? You will plan, right, and organize and implement. Alright, so you have initiate business. He is doing all this task. He is generating the idea, what business to perform. He will plan the task. He will organize the resources and the other needful things, and finally he will implement it. This is how he is going to initiate the business or start the business. Another function that he performs is he bears the risk. Another important task that he performs is bearing the risk of the business. Until unless you have to have risk, you should be ready. You should calculate the risk, the normal risk, the extreme risk, and then only you should take the next step further, or you can take the step backward. So you should be able to calculate the risk that will come your way, and accordingly you will take the decisions in your business. Next is decision making. Decision making includes, you should first of all you should see, if you take up a production activity, first task is where you are producing the goods, that is location of a production activity. Then how you will get the funds, then who all people will be there. You can start from the very initiative process, where you will do this, how you will get the funds, who will be the people who will be employed under you, right? How you will take production decisions, how you will do the marketing business. These are all the decisions or the function of the entrepreneur that will be undertaken by him. Next is coordination. Next important function that is performed by the entrepreneur is coordination, and he has to coordinate all the resources or all the activities of the business, that is production, right, marketing and finances. He is controlling everything, so he needs to coordinate it. He needs to see that which requires more finance, production or marketing. Is the production going on? Are you not increasing the production? Or there may be decreased demand, but you are increasing the production. So he needs to coordinate the activities of production, marketing and finance all together. Next is combines the factor of production. It is combining all the factor of production. Which factors of production? It is getting, first of all, procuring or buying the land. Then it is getting the right kind of labor. Then it is putting money. It is combining all the three factors of production or all the other factors of production, combining and getting the work done by all the three factors and helping itself to carry on or run the business, alright, and get higher returns, of course. Next is innovation. The entrepreneur should be imaginative, should take innovations. Innovation means changes for the good. If you are doing a particular task in a particular manner, if you think that it could be done in a better way, or it could be done easily and in a faster manner, then that is an innovation. Something that's already been there and you are getting or bringing changes in that to work it more fruitfully, that is the innovation. It could be, you will always look for new designs, or new products, maybe new processes of doing the things, new technology. That's all be defined or discussed under innovation. Next important function will be maintaining relations. Maintaining relations is you are maintaining relation all the people who are connected to you. Who are the people connected to you? Human resources, first of all, inside your business. That is your laborer and your supplier. Alright, then you have the government and the customers outside. So you need to have good relation, amiable relation, healthy relation, so that you can have, if you talk about the employees, they are the people who are helping you to get the production activity done and carry forward your business. So you should be knowing what their rights are, what their duties are. Are you paying them well? Are you paying according to the work that you are deriving out of them? Next is your suppliers. Are the suppliers supplying you on time? Are you making them payment on time, or you're making payment within the credit period extended to you by them? Next is customers. You are supplying the right quantity and the right quality of goods or not. So, and you are giving some schemes, providing some help to the customers. Next is government. Are you helping the government? You are following the policies stated by the government or not. This is how you are maintaining the relationship. Next is directing the subordinates. Directing the subordinates means you have people who are working under you. Those are the subordinates. You cannot just cannot bully your subordinates. You cannot get work out of them in a fashion as in a slavery it would be. It is just giving them right and proper direction for them to work easily and fluently. So you need to direct them and help and guide them so that they can do the task the way you want them to do it. Next is motivation. See, motivation you can do by words, right? You can say you have done good. You can acknowledge people. Motivation is very good. How you can motivate people? You can acknowledge them in public. You can say you have done a very good task. Then you acknowledge them in front of others. That is another way, one way of motivation. That is basically a non-monetary way of motivation. Next is a monetary way of motivation, when we are motivating in the form of gifts, prizes, money. That is again you are motivating people to do better. Another form is, you can say, you have another ways of motivation is positive and negative motivation. When you say somebody that yes, you have done a good task, you can do it better. That is a positive way of motivation. Next is negative motivation. Negative motivation is you say no, you cannot do the task. I'm sure you will not do the task. Sometimes this also helps, because that is another way you are motivating somebody to do it in a better fashion. Last thing is controlling. You have to have three things in control. That is, you need to set the standards. Alright. Then you have to have the actual performance done. Alright. You have set the standard. You have the actual performance done. Now you will measure and check the deviations. So you have three things that you are doing under controlling. You are setting the standards, that this should be our standard, this should be the target that we have to achieve. Next is actually you are performing the task. Last is you are measuring that what actual performance has been done, and you are checking the deviation. Checking the deviation means what was your standard set and what did you actually got out of your work. So you will check the deviation, how much you have deviated from the standard that was set by you. So this is controlling is another important function, and you need to perform the control function. Otherwise things will go off-handed and it will be too late for you to get the things back to the track.